Hi, good afternoon, everyone. We are so lucky to be joined by one of our more recent alum, Kim Dunkleman. She, in her time at Morrisville, was a four-year starter for us at setter and also joined us last year as an assistant coach. Not, yes, last year. I keep
Right,
thinking I get screwed up with this fall. But
right.
Kim, what are you doing now? What are you up to?
Hi, I'm actually in Kentucky. I moved down July 1st. I'm the assistant
Nice.
volleyball coach for Center College, and I'm loving it. Kentucky's great.
Awesome. What division is Center College?
It's Division 3, and we're in the
Nice.
SAC conference.
Nice. So we're going to go back a little bit and touch on your career here at Morse. So like I said, you were a four-year starter, and from the get-go, always taught us that nothing comes easy. You always have to work really hard. So if you think back over your career, what do you think was the hardest thing to overcome for you?
Um,
We're starting it off tough.
the hardest thing to overcome. Um, I'm not really sure. Probably winning the first championship as a team. That was really hard because my sophomore year, we were in the semifinals against Gaudet and we lost in 5 games. So the next year, we kind of had to play with like a little chip on our shoulder, and we won it, and that was a great time.
Yeah, I think when it comes to when you step on the court, I know volleyball especially sets goals as a team, and Coach Wallace is very good about that. And the ultimate goal is always winning that championship title. But to get to where you were when you left your career took a lot of determination and a lot of hard work behind the scenes, practices, day in, day out, the sweat, blood, sweat, blood, and tears. I can't
Mhm.
talk today. um, and patience, certainly, and knowing that you were going against some of the toughest opponents that coach could set up for you. What did it mean to finally beat Gallaudet, the reigning champion for years on years on years? And
It meant a lot to win against them because they were the reigning champs. Like you said, they won 7 years in a row. And, going in as a freshman, you see that and you're intimidated. So winning against them, that was incredible. And it took so much hard work on and off the court. We were in the weight room during the off season all the time, and we were grinding 24/7. Over the summer, we took it very seriously too. So I think that gave us a little edge on them, and we won, and it was incredible.
yeah, we all remember that moment. A lot of us were watching from a distance. And then the next year, we were very fortunate to be regular season champions and host that tournament. Talk
Right.
about what it meant to you as a senior to be able to host the championship tournament, and win the title on your home court.
That was that was something else. Like I said, my freshman year, we were 7-14, I think.
Mhm.
And then going from that and then undefeated champs, regular season champs in the conference, that was something I never thought we would be able to accomplish, let alone do it very well. So that we were very blessed to host and win the tournament.
And your career didn't stop there, believe it or not. Even though you were a senior and you were no longer playing, you joined the staff as a volunteer assistant coach, and by golly, three-peat. So talk about what that meant to you. You're one of the only people to come through in the volleyball program and win a title as a player and as a coach. So what does that mean to you?
That means a lot to me. Winning it as a player was amazing, and I'm so grateful for that opportunity. But winning it as a coach was something that I'm really glad I got to experience, especially with Fred and with Lex too, because they're both wonderful people, and getting to know them as coworkers, sort of, was also a great experience too. So it helped me with my career now, actually.
Yeah, we're going to get to that in just a minute. I remember walking into the gym during your senior year. We're hosting that not October, September weekend where lots of teams are coming in, playing in that opening tournament. And I walk in and there's some loud screaming going on. Volleyball is a sport where there's a lot of cheering, encouragement for teams. But when I look over, you were one of the loudest voices to be heard on the court. Talk a little bit about what you did to motivate your teammates and the enthusiasm that you brought and everything that you did on the court to really make that difference.
Yeah, that's like kind of how I am personally in my life. I'm very outgoing and I'm very energetic with everything I do. So the team kind of looked at me like when we needed to get back going and we needed to, get the energy back up. They looked at me and I was like, okay, like let's turn it on, let's go. And I would just scream after every point, and that really helped them. So,
Yeah,
getting the energy.
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And it led to you being a captain, later on in your career. So talk a little bit about your leadership with a team and what were you I guess what's your biggest takeaway from being one of the leaders, later on in your career?
Right. I think being a captain, I compared myself to Courtney, who was the captain before
Mhm.
me, and I really wanted to like be more like her. She was very serious and she loved the team, and she was like a diehard Morrisville like fan, and I wanted to sort of be like her, and I wanted like to get the team back on focus. Like, okay, like we have a championship to defend. Like, we are the reigning champs now. Like, we are the team with the target on our back, and we have to take it seriously. So, being a leader and going to workouts when it wasn't really
Mhm.
mandatory, and I think I stepped up like that. But just being my regular positive outgoing self helped a lot too.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I'll forever be grateful for. Every time I walked into the gym when you guys were either wrapping up practice or just getting going after a basketball game, or practice for that matter, you were always smiling. You always brought, you know, a breath of fresh air to what
I
it was
can't
like
say like that.
to be around.
Thank you.
And your enthusiasm especially, it pawned off on other people too.
It's
And to
good.
see that continue in a legacy sort of, is really refreshing. But also, you came in with a few players that really made a difference in the program. One of which is you, and you played alongside of Lena, split time on the court. But come career end, you wrote your name into the record books 13 times, Kimmy. 13. That's pretty amazing, and to also, I'm not a volleyball person by any means. I don't know what the sets are, but from what I understand, playing a 6-2 set or a 6-2 form.
Right.
Sorry.
No,
Um,
rotation, yeah.
so you're only on the court for half the time, and come career end, you were number one in assists.
Mhm.
Talk a little bit about what motivated you as a player to dig in, dig out, to keep being that top caliber player.
Yeah, so I guess the 6-2 rotation that we did do kind of
We
motivated
should.
me. Yeah, rotation. So that kind of motivated me to be the best player I could because I knew I was only going to get half the playing time. So when I was on the court, I'm going to go all out. And, that's what I did. And, I was just out there having a great time, diving after stuff. And, you have to. If you're only going to play half the game, you have to go all out.
Yeah, number one in assists, number two in service aces. So you did it from the serving perspective too. Number six in digs. So on the defensive end as
That's a surprise.
well. Yeah, I look back at your stats and I'm just, wow. Because, you see you putting up the ball all the time and people slamming it home, but you don't ever think about what's going on outside of that. So when all is said and done, you were most recently named to the All-Decade team because of the contributions that you had on the court. What did that mean to you as an alum to look back and know that you had a most notable part of Morrisville history, especially for volleyball?
That actually really meant a lot to me because I didn't really get the accolades like first team All American or not All American, like first team conference, stuff like that. And not that it mattered to me because I wanted to win a championship and that's what we did multiple times. But it is nice to get the recognition that, you think you deserve. And, hearing that from Fred saying that, like, she only played half the time, but she was really someone that we needed.
Hmm.
I mean, that's all you want to hear from your coach.
Yeah, and Coach certainly, one of the best things about him is he always tries to find a way to lift up his players. Always positive,
Yeah.
always encouraging. If you were to describe coach in one word, what would that word be and why?
Gosh, is there a word to describe Fred Wallace? I family, I think I would like the first word that comes to mind. Like when he takes in a player, he really takes in them and like makes sure it's like they're okay with academics, athletics, their family relationship. And he's just checking on you all the time. And we actually just had like a half an hour conversation last night, so that bond is there forever.
Awesome. What was it like to become an assistant coach under him?
Interesting, because he is, a very intense person. So, meeting after practices, it was interesting to see that perspective of like, okay, now we're going from player to coach, and like we can talk to each other. So,
Mhm.
he taught me a
Yeah,
lot, player and coach.
awesome. If there was one thing that you could take away from your experience as a player and coach underneath him, what would it be?
Just do everything 100% as how you would do it. Don't apologize for being yourself. Because Fred is pretty goofy, and he taught me that it's better to accept at an early age that you are who you are, and there's no apology for that.
Absolutely. So you talked a little bit about family, not just within the volleyball program and with coach, but our family when the Haynes, the Dunkelmans, everybody, the Merrills, the Wolves, all came on board. Our family grew in the stands significantly, and I remember looking up in the stands at one of the championships and seeing your Uncle Doug.
The face paint.
The face paint. So our Mustang family grew significantly. So family outside of volleyball, what does family mean to you? Because you got a lot of support throughout your career, and I see what happens on social media and who responds to what, and your family is very active
Yes, they,
there.
they are very.
But what does family mean to you?
Family means everything to me, honestly. They might drive me crazy sometimes, but they are my ride or die. And like you said, my Uncle Dougie was probably my number one supporter right after my
Mhm.
mom. He had the face paint and he showed up as much as he could. And like that's what you want. You want your family to be supportive of you no matter what you do. If you win, you lose, they were there no matter what.
Yeah, looking back on your career, if you could sum it up in one word, what would that be?
Oh gosh.
That's two.
One word. I don't, gosh, how can you though?
That's fair.
Memorable. I don't, just incredible, life changing. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I loved
That's
everything about
awesome.
it.
That's awesome. Kimmy, thank you so much for joining us today. We're so excited to finally catch up with you. Good luck with your recruiting. For those
Thank
that
you.
don't know, we had to postpone this a few times because Kimmy's been very active recruiting for Center College in her role and, busy with practices and stuff. So good luck to you and go Mustangs always, but good luck.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye.